Hey jumpers, Crossrope athlete Jenica here, back with day 3 of the Jump Rope Beginner Challenge from the Crossrope app. And I forgot to mention on day 1 that we have built-in active recovery days in the 14-day challenge. So if you are taking every other day or every couple days off, that is totally fine and wonderful that you are smart and listening to your body and your level of fitness. You really do want to ease into jumping. It is a new activity and there are lots of fine tissues, all of those things in our feet and ankles and knees that make them such wonderful parts and give us great mobility as humans. Those things take time to adapt to this new activity. So be careful, be smart, and go at your own pace. And again, building up might be much slower than you're hoping, but please take the time to build up to longer jump intervals and more frequent jump workouts, because lots of beginners get really excited because we love jumping. It's such an amazing activity, the best cardio around, and we tend to get a little excited and maybe too much too soon. So to avoid that, remind yourself to take it slow at first. In a few weeks, you'll be going strong. So let's get ready for our first active recovery workout. Day 3 is an active recovery day. So we're gonna do a little bit of jumping. We wanna go nice and light on our jumping. It's basically just to get our heart rate up a little bit, get the blood flowing, get our muscles warmed up, and then we're gonna do some stretching. And stretching really can help you reduce that risk of muscle soreness, as well as reducing your risk of injury by helping with your mobility and flexibility. So let's get into day 3, active recovery day. Our day 3 active recovery day from the Jump Rope Beginner Challenge on the Crossrope app starts with the half-pound rope. Of course, as always, you can use any rope you choose. We will just be doing 20 seconds of jumping, 40 seconds of rest. I know that sounds like a lot of rest, but the point of active recovery day is the recovery. The point of the active part is moving our body a little bit, because if we just sit and do nothing on our recovery days, that's when we tend to get stiff and sore. So we want to move a little bit. You could also take a nice walk around the block, nothing too intense or extreme, because again, the goal of recovery day is not max calorie burn and not a hard workout. We want to move a little bit to keep things loose, but not overdo it. Again, give our body time to recover from the hard work that we're putting it through as we get going on our jump rope journey. So half-pound rope, only 20 seconds of jumping, nice 40-second rest, and that's all we will do for the first block. And then we'll get into block B. So we'll finish off with the last basic jump and go right into stretching in block B. We're gonna hit the whole body because using weighted ropes and jumping rope is a full body workout. So here we go, day 3, active recovery day. Basic jump, starting in 10 seconds.
Get ready. Next up,
Again,
basic
we are
jump.
still using our slim handles with our handshake grip. 3, 2, 1.
Basic
jump
jump.
for 20. Light on the balls of our feet. Pull that core in. Stand up tall. Nice, easy pace. Again, we are not going for
Next
speed
up.
and max burn on recovery day. 3, 2, 1.
Rest.
Resting 40. Taking time to nice breathing. And if you have noticed some grip soreness, you can actually use your handles to give yourself a little relief on those grips, just rolling that handle in between your hands. And we still have 15 seconds here. We're gonna do more basic jumping. 10 seconds. Again, we've got our arms in close
Next
to our
up,
sides, a little bend in
basic
that elbow,
jump.
and our hands are slightly in front of our body line. Here we go, 3, 2, 1.
Basic
Jumping
jump.
20. Standing up tall, core pulled in, looking out at the horizon. You're not staring up at the ceiling because that cuts off our airway and makes
Next
it much
up,
harder to breathe.
rest.
Now we want to make sure we're breathing all the way through our workouts. We're still bounding lightly, and now we're resting 40. Again, we're on the balls of our feet. Our heels pretty much never hit the ground in jumping rope, unless of course we're doing other skills later on in your journey, like the heel tap itself. But we want to stay light on those feet. So if you're noticing some calf and shin soreness, One thing you can do throughout your day to strengthen those muscles is do a little toe walking. Around your office, around the house, take a few minutes, walk around on those toes. You can also walk around on your heels. Again, we're just trying to strengthen all the muscles around our feet and ankles, shins and knees. Here we go, more jumping. 3, 2, 1, 20 seconds.
Basic jump.
Light on those feet. Again, you can think quiet feet, quiet arms. We don't want a lot of motion. And that's part of, we're pulling that core in to have some nice core stability right from the center. And will help keep us in one spot. And now we're resting 40. If you find that you are bouncing all over the room, try to make yourself a little square. Or the Crossrope LE mat, not only is it great for protecting your ropes and protecting your joints, but you should be staying inside your mat as you're learning to jump. If you find that you're kind of getting tugged all over the room by the rope, pull that core in, keep those bounds nice and light, and try to stay in between those two crossrope words there on the sides of your mat. We've got 10 seconds here.
Next up,
nice deep breath.
Basic
Get
jump.
ready for 20 seconds of jumping. 3, 2, 1, jump.
Basic jump.
Breathing all the way through. If you struggle with keeping your breath, you might find that counting your breath to a certain number of jumps will help you with some rhythmic breathing. 3, 2, 1.
Rest.
And of course, it depends on your fitness and your lung capacity and all of those personalized things. How many jumps will make a nice deep breath that works for you so that you're not gasping for air and keeping a nice steady breathing pace throughout your workouts. But again, we shouldn't be gasping for air today because it's active recovery day, so we're taking it easy. 15 seconds left here. You can also use your handles on your forearms if you've noticed a little soreness as you've gotten going on your jump journey. If you don't have a foam roller, the handles actually work pretty well for that. 3, 2, 1.
Basic jump.
20 seconds. Now as all of those body parts adapt to jumping, if you do find some soreness, there are lots of options. Of course, ice and foam rolling. And if you find the bottom of your feet, 3, 2, 1, the bottom of your feet. The bottom of your feet are a little bit sore. One technique is to freeze a water bottle and then roll that around under your foot. That can give you some relief, and that's probably a sign that you need to take an extra rest day. Again, we really do want to build up slowly so that our body can adapt, and that way we aren't taken out by overuse injuries at the beginning of our jump journey. All right, one more set of basic jumping for 20, and then we're going to move into some stretching.
Basic jump.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. 20 seconds jump. Again, bend in those elbows, slightly behind the body line. Hands are slightly in front of the body line. We're jumping over the rope in front of our feet.
Next up,
so we don't want our hands
right
pointed
shoulder
backwards
stretch.
behind us. We want them slightly in front of us. 3, 2, 1. Let's
right
drop that
shoulder
rope.
stretch.
Go right into a shoulder stretch. So pulling that arm across your body, finding the position where it's a little higher, a little lower, whatever works best. It's for you to feel that nice stretch throughout your shoulder there. Breathing through it. You can stand still. I'm kind of a pacer when I stretch. And
next
if you're
up,
like me and many others, stretching is not your favorite thing, but it is so important. 3, 2, 1.
Rest.
And it says rest, but really it's just enough
Next
time
up,
to switch sides and get ready for our next arm. So we're doing our left side or the other side, whichever one you started with. Do the other one now.
Shoulder stretch.
30 seconds. Finding the tension and position that gives you a good stretch. You should feel a nice deep stretch while you're stretching, but of course you don't want to hurt yourself. Don't overdo it. Always listen to your body, your fitness level, your mobility. And while we're stretching, just like while we're jumping, we want to keep breathing.
Next up,
Keep our core engaged. Nice, good posture. And 3, 2, 1.
rest.
And now we are going into a chest
Next
opener
up,
stretch. So we're going to clasp
chest
our
opener.
hands behind our back and just feel that nice chest opening and a little stretch in our arms. Here we go,
Chest
30
opener.
seconds. If you can't clasp your hands together, you can utilize your rope to help out with that. So holding your rope, grabbing your rope behind you, and then lifting up a little bit. In this one, it really does help to stand up nice and tall. Feel that opening in your chest. The higher up you can lift those arms, the more opening you feel it in
Next
your chest.
up,
And again, you're getting
rest.
a nice stretch on your arms as well. Now, don't overdo it. Here we go, resting time.
Rest.
If any of these hurt you,
Next
please
up,
stop immediately.
Right quad
Now we're going to
stretch.
stretch our quads. You might need something to hold on to for balance. You can also
Right
do some
quad
of these
stretch.
stretches on the floor. We're going to try the standing one here. It's a great balance challenge. So pull in that core. You can put your arm out for balance, or again, if you have a chair nearby, you can gently rest a hand on that for balance. While we're doing our quad stretch, we want to pull on that foot. We don't need to pull our leg way back. If we just pull that foot towards our tushy,
Next
you'll
up,
feel it in your
rest.
quad. And you want to find the position that works for you though, so that you're feeling that stretch in your quad. And we'll
Rest.
switch sides.
Next up,
We've got
Left
5
quad
seconds.
stretch.
Get ready. We're going to stretch the other side. And here we go.
Left quad
Getting up there
stretch.
nice and slow can help with the balance. If you struggle with balance, please, please, please be careful and make sure that you use a wall or a chair to help you out there, or hit the mat. And you can do this one from the floor. We've got 15 seconds left. Staying core engaged, standing up nice and tall, pulling on that foot.
next up,
Nice stretch in your
rest.
quad. Almost done. 3, 2, 1. All right.
Rest.
Now we're going to hit the mat
Next up,
and do our
Right
hamstring
hamstring
stretch.
stretch.
3, 2, 1.
Right
Reach into that
hamstring
toe.
stretch.
If you're very flexible, of course, you can get way down into it and bring that head towards your knee. And if you are not very flexible, again, you can use your rope to pull that foot towards you. You should feel this stretch in the back of your leg there. The deeper you get, the more intense it is. So do try to feel a nice, good stretch, but also
Next
don't
up.
overdo it.
rest.
Like I said before, if anything hurts, please stop immediately. And now we're gonna switch
Rest.
sides.
Next up,
Left hamstring stretch.
And it all again depends on your level of fitness and flexibility. If you don't need that rope
Left
to reach that foot,
hamstring
you
stretch.
can grab a hold of it with your hand. Or again, if you're super flexible, which I am not super flexible, but if you can reach that foot with both hands and get that head down towards your knee, you go ahead and get as deep into those stretches as you need to make them the most beneficial for you. And
next up,
keep breathing through it.
Rest.
Try to keep a neutral neck while you're doing your stretches. You don't want to keep your neck up or
Rest.
always crush that chin into your shoulder.
next up,
Right hip flexor.
Oh, whoops, I missed the rest. We are going into our right hip flexor. Sorry about that.
Right
30
hip
seconds.
flexor.
Rocking forward. You might need to adjust and move that foot out a little bit further, but we want this one. It's a nice hip opening stretch. And sometimes we have aches and pains that may not actually be the source of the problem. Like if you have a knee that hurts, it could potentially be that your quads or hamstrings or hips are very tight.
Next
So
up,
keeping loose and
rest.
limber can really help reduce that soreness. And then we're gonna switch sides.
rest.
Of course, if it's not soreness and
Next
if it's
up,
an injury, please
left
go
hip
see
flexor.
a doctor. There's a big difference. Let's do the other side here. Left side
Left
hip flexor.
flexor.
And as you get started on your jump rope journey, that is an important distinction to figure out for yourself, is the difference between muscle soreness and injury soreness. Muscle soreness, you should work through. It gets better if you move your body and work through it. Injury soreness, please don't power through injuries.
Next up,
that will likely
rest.
just make them worse and mean that you're going to be out of the jump rope game for longer as you heal. So let's
Rest.
do our right pigeon stretch.
Next
now.
up,
So we're going to get into
right
a push-up or
pigeon
plank
stretch.
position to start the pigeon stretch. We're going to bring one leg across in front of us. Here we go.
Right
Bringing my right
pigeon
foot
stretch.
up across, and then sitting back into it. I should have a nice stretch back here in my leg, My foot is across my body here. Right here, it's pretty intense. If you haven't done a lot of stretching, this will be plenty. If you are a little more flexible, you can head on down to your elbows. Again, always trying to keep a neutral neck and spine as we do our stretches. If you're super flexible, you could go all
Next
the way
up,
down
rest.
to the floor. That is very intense though. 3, 2, 1, and
Rest.
I'm gonna switch sides. I like to give my
Next
legs a little
up,
shake after that
left
nice deep
pigeon
stretch there.
stretch.
Pigeon stretch is a great stretch. 3, 2, 1. We're gonna do the
Left
other side
pigeon
now.
stretch.
And of course, we are still breathing all the way through our stretches. The more intense version, heading down, or all the way down. It takes some time to build up that flexibility, just like it takes time to build up our endurance and strength.
Next up,
So start
rest.
small. Make sure that you're getting a good stretch, but don't overdo it. Almost done here, and now
Rest.
we're going to go into our downward
Next
dog
up,
pedal.
Downward
So
dog
we're gonna start
pedal.
in the, again, push over extended plank position. Put our toes under there. and
Downward
pop
dog
up
pedal.
into our downward dog, and then we're gonna just pedal our feet right, left for a few seconds, or maybe longer if you really like the way that feels. It's a great calf stretch, and of course, the higher up you can get your bum, the closer your hands you can get to your toes, the more intense that's going to be. We've got about 10 seconds here. Keep going and keep breathing. Keep that core engaged. 3, 2, 1.
workout complete.
And that is that. Day 3, active recovery day. Awesome job. Thank you for being smart and listening to your body and taking an active recovery day. If you are taking extra days in between these challenge workouts, that is excellent. You are being smart and safe and taking care of those jumping bodies. We want you here for the long haul, so be smart. Don't overdo it at the beginning. I know it's exciting and we love jumping and we want to do it more and more. Give yourself time so that you don't have to take a break for an overusage injury as you get started on your journey. Chad will be back with day 4, and make sure that you have downloaded the Crossrope app and that you are running these workouts on your app so that it shows up in your activity history and you can work towards those goals and streaks and have that accountability of checking those workouts off the list. So don't forget, we'll be here all 14 days, so you have a follow-along workout buddy to encourage you and give you tips and pointers throughout this beginner challenge. Happy jumping!